and how it is different from a normal programming. We will talk about, okay, if I know what is AI, how I can implement it, what are the methods, what are the technology to create an AI program. Tamam? So we will talk about machine learning, we will talk about deep learning, we will talk about how they are different from each other. Okay, at the moment we understand these methods, we will go ahead and we will talk about AI applications in general. راح نستعرض أكثر من تطبيق بشكل عام عن الذكاء الاصطناعي. After that, we will be talking about mainly telecom field, how we can apply AI in telecom field. Okay. بعدين راح نتكلم على machine learning workflow. راح نشوف steps which is going to take us from the data from step number 1 until we have a mature kind of application, AI application. So we will go through the workflow in a general way. وبعدين we will be having an AI demonstration. So I'm going to have a very quick, a very we can say non-technical visualization and demonstration, which is going to give you a good kind of understanding about how machine learning programming is different than AI. And then we will be talking about the required skills related to artificial intelligence. After we finish all of this, we will be talking about our upcoming bootcamp, which is about AI. We'll talk about the subjects which we are going to discuss, what are the expected outcome, what are the tools and the skills which is expected from the trainees to have by the end of the session. And then we will give you a chance also, if you have some questions, you can go ahead and ask. Tamam? Let us start now our webinar. So the first thing which I would like to ask, what is the meaning of AI? What is your understanding about AI? Shabab, it's not going to be a one-way session. It's going to be an interactive session. So we will have a lot of questions and I'm expecting you to ask. You can unmute your microphone, or if you want, you can just write your answer on the chatting window. Okay? So who can tell me what is your understanding about artificial intelligence? Is there anyone here who can share his thought with us?
I can say.
Yeah, please go ahead.
AI is a field of technology where machines are taught to take decisions, maybe to solve problems in our everyday life. But the main concept of AI is to help machines to take decisions, I think.
Very good, excellent. Who else? Who else, guys? We are not testing your knowledge. We are just trying to do a kind of a discussion, which is going to make the session interactive again. So if you have any idea, if you read about it somewhere, please share your knowledge with us. So Yusuf, he is saying brain simulator in the machine. Very good. I like the word simulator. Very nice. What else? What else يا شباب؟
ممكن نقل قدرة التفكير للآلة، نخليها إنه بنفس قدرة تفكير الإنسان.
بنفس قدرة تفكير الإنسان. أوكي تمام. فاين. قدرة تفكير الإنسان. فاين. لما نتكلم على الذكاء الاصطناعي، إحنا بنتكلم على الذكاء، بنتكلم على الانتليجنس. We as a human, do you think we are intelligent or not? Do you think we are intelligent or not? We as a human.
Yes, of course.
We are intelligent, right? So since we are intelligent, or you think that we are intelligent, what is the main characteristics which we have, which is making us intelligent? So that means the intelligence is having a sort of characteristics, right? When we are talking about artificial intelligence, first we need to understand the word intelligent. What is the meaning of intelligence? Any idea? What is the meaning of intelligence? What are the characteristics of intelligence, which is making us better or superior to any other creature, right? Learning from experience. Very good, Yazin. Learning from experience. So we have the ability to learn. We have the ability to build our experience. Learning from mistakes. صح? Very good. What else? What else, ya shabab?
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking. Very good. Communicating, right? taking right decisions, analyzing the situation, getting a certain conclusion, discovering pattern, right? All of these are the characteristics of intelligence. So what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence mainly, it's about taking these intelligence characteristics and trying to embed it or simulate it using a machine. So nowadays we want machine to take right decisions. We want machine to do some sort of data analysis for a huge amount of data which human can't do. We want machine to discover pattern. We want machine also to communicate, to learn, and also if there is a chance to make the machine creative, we want machine also to be able to draw, to be able to play music, to be able to write some novels, right? So this is the meaning of artificial intelligence. We want machine to handle or to be able to do these kind of tasks which is limited for a human. So what is the definition of AI? AI is a technology which is allowing the machine to mimic the human behavior intelligence. This is it, in simple way, this is it. So there are many applications nowadays which is giving or making the machine able to do some of these intelligent tasks, right? And in short, this is the meaning of artificial intelligence. That's it. How artificial intelligence programming is different from the normal program, very easy. If you have a normal program, like for example, if I will ask some of you to tell me, if I am going to ask you to create an ATM program, a normal simple ATM program, which can ask you to insert the PIN number, which can ask you if you want to get money, if you want to do some deposit, if you want just to check your balance, etc., etc. So in these kind of programs, what is the main element which we need to use? Who can tell me? In these kind of programs or any sort of programs, if I want to create it or if I want to write the code, what is the main element which I need to use inside the code itself? I know some people they are not programmers. أنا عارف إنه في منكم مش مبرمجين وأنا مش حابب أخلي الموضوع تكنيكال، لكن راح نحاول إنه نرضي الطرفين، راح نحاول إنه نرضي الجماعة المبرمجين اللي حابين يعرفوا كيف ممكن يستخدموا قدراتهم في الذكاء الاصطناعي، وحتى الناس اللي هي ما عندها خبرة في البرمجة. I will try to maintain the balance. Input, processing, output. Very good. Now the processing part, it's about what? It's about building the logic. If you are creating a program, very good, yeah, Duha. If we are building a program, we are expected to provide the program with all the logics required, right? So for example, if I'm going to press 1, I can get the balance. If I will press 2, I can do deposit, etc., etc. So it's all about using what we call it if statement. What we call it, ya shabab, if statement, if and else, or else if, leave, right? So even if I'm going to show you that code, if I'm going to show you a simple code about it, just a minute. If I'm going to show you the code, ya shabab, the code will look like this. Let me show you the code. The code for a simple ATM program. The code looks like this. As you can see, it is full. Of course, there is a loop, because any program, if you want to use a program, you are entering inside the loop. And the moment you click exit, you are breaking the loop. So inside the program, it's all about if statement, because if the statement is helping me to build my logic into the program. Sahih shabab? Clear? So this is how we usually do programming. We understand what is the client requirement, what is the logic, and we are trying to build that logic using a sort of if statement. The question is, can I use the same logic, the same technique, the same concept of programming to handle this task? The task is, I want to create a program which can differentiate or which can recognize the photo of Jeffrey Hinton and John McCarthy. And for people who don't know who is Jeffrey Hinton, who is John McCarthy, go ahead and read about them. These are very popular people who have contributed a lot for us to be able to use AI today. So we can say that these people, they are the founders, okay, of AI. So forget about that now. If I'm going to give you this task, I want you to create a program which can identify or recognize Jeffrey Hinton and John McCarthy. The question is, can I build the program using if statement, yes or no? And if you just need to guess. If you don't know, you can just put that on the chatting area. Just guess, yes, no, no idea. What do you think, Yashabab? Can I build this program using if statement? هل ممكن استخدم if statement في عمل هذا البروجرام؟ Only Duha and Haneen. How about the others? You just need to say yes or no. Okay, so the answer is, of course, it's not possible. The answer is, it's not possible, ya Shabab. We cannot build a program by just feeding the logic using if statement. Why? Because if I will ask you, give me the logic to identify this person from this person. What is the logic? You are going to tell me, yes, this man, he's having beard here, right? This man, he have more, hair. Maybe you can mention the skin color. Maybe you can mention the eye color. Maybe you can talk about the nose, right? The ear. صح? But of course, this is not going to be applicable because the same person, okay, I can give you, another picture from the side view. Some of the characteristics which we are going to mention will not be there. And of course, this is going to maybe result in a wrong prediction. And by the way, we don't care about Jeffrey Hinton and John McCarthy. This is just an example. What if I'm going to tell you that I want to discover, for example, cancer, okay, or tumor? In this case, I cannot, create an application which can give me wrong, output, right? My application need to be very accurate. Otherwise, no need to use it, right, Shabab? So how I can create this kind of application? Now, for us as a human, for my brain, this is very easy task, piece of cake, right? To identify between objects, it's very easy. But for the machine, this is a nightmare. Machine cannot handle this kind of task by using the normal way of programming. So what is the way? What is the technique which I need to use to do this kind of job, which is only limited to our brain? So to do that kind of job, we need to use a technique which we call it machine learning. Machine learning. What is machine learning? Machine learning is the most usable technique to create AI program by only feeding data, historical data, and trying to discover the pattern. Now, what is the meaning of all of this? We will come to know now. So machine learning is a collection of algorithms. And when I am talking about algorithm, we mean a set of equations. We mean here, we are going to use math. We are going to use statistics. Some of these algorithms, by the way, ممكن تكون algorithms احنا حتى تعلمناها في مادة الإحصاء أو حتى تعلمناها في الماث في الجامعات أو حتى في المدارس. We were not aware that these kind of algorithms, it's really used in AI. تمام يا شباب? So artificial intelligence is a very big field. But when we talk about implementing it by using the data, we need to use machine learning. Machine learning, again, is the technique which is going to allow us to create artificial intelligence by using data, historical data. So the question is, if anyone is asking you, let's say your manager at work, your manager, for example, let us create an artificial intelligence application. Fine. The main thing which you need to consider, or which you need to ask yourself about, do I have data or not? If you have data, you can use that. You can use this data to create or to try to create artificial intelligence application or using machine learning. Maybe you will be able to do that, maybe not. Depend on your data quality. But the main element, the main requirement before you even think about AI, do I have data or not? If you are not having the data, forget about it. You cannot create machine learning or AI without data. Okay? Now AI you can, but using machine learning the requirement is data. And that's why, since today we have a huge amount of data, which was not available before 30 years, before 40 years, we were not having the same amount of data which we have today. This is all because we have a very, huge amount of storage servers where we can store a lot of data inside it. We have a lot of, we can say, tools which can help us to understand this data. And of course, we should not forget the computational power, which was not available before, but now it's available. That's why everyone is talking about machine learning and artificial intelligence. So again, machine learning is one of the methods to create artificial intelligence, but this method requires us to have data, So let us talk about the same example. I want to differentiate between Jeffrey Hinton and John McCarthy, okay? Now, how I can use machine learning? Very simple. What we need to do, we need to use a certain algorithm. Of course, machine learning is a set of different algorithms. Almost every year, those people who work in university, PhD research and development area, AI, researchers, they come out with the new algorithms which can help us to do or to use AI for different use cases. تمام؟ So لما نتكلم احنا على تطبيقات تتعلق بالفوتوز اوكي او الفيجوال ريبورتس، احنا بنتكلم على machine learning algorithm which can understand this kind of data. So in summary, what we can say is we need to use the right algorithm, because there are many algorithms nowadays. There are many algorithms. Some of these algorithms are very old. Some of these algorithms are maybe only created 2020. Tamam? So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we are using the right algorithm. The moment I choose the right algorithm, what I need to do is simple. I need to feed the data of both objects, for example, to this algorithm. Again, what we need to feed? We need to feed the data. Okay, so if I'm going to compare between those two objects or those two persons, right? So what I need to do? I need only one picture? No, you need a lot of pictures. As much as you can. If you can provide pictures in hundreds, in thousands, nowadays, even if you have 50 pictures, it's enough, by the way. But if you have more, is better. The more is better. Tamam? It is very simple, ya shabab. Let us assume that you are educating your baby about apple. Everybody knows apple, right? So we have red apple, we have green apple, we have yellow apple, we have small apple, we have big one, right? We have baby apple. Sah? Now let us assume that I want to teach my baby about apple. So how I will teach him? Who can tell me? How I can teach my baby about apple? What I need to do? Hi, Shabab. You can go ahead and ask immediately and answer immediately. You can unmute the microphone and answer immediately, Shabab.
We can just show him lots of pictures and give him this apple and let him eat it.
Taste it, صح? Okay, yes, very good. We need to show him the object. For example, apple, right? Either by giving him one sample or showing him a photo, صح? Along with the object, what we need? Along with the object, يعني I will just give him the object, or I need to do something. What do you think? Hi, Shabab. You want to teach a baby about apple. So we can give him, the object. You can give him the apple, right? Is this enough or not? Yes, very good, Duha. Very good, Duha. Go ahead.
Can I answer?
Yeah, please go ahead.
We can also make him cut it into pieces, so he can know that it's the mixture, the tissue. What is we can make him cut it and make pieces of it, shapes.
Okay, you mean you want him to discover what is inside, right?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, fine. But along with that, what you need, there is something which is very important, which Duha, she has answered about the name. If you are going to show him apple without mentioning the name, next day, if you want apple, how he will be able to, request you for that? So the name is very important. That's why here, if you have noticed, I kept the picture or the photo along with the name. So name is very important, ya shabab. Name is very important. This is what we call it a label. This is the label. Okay, fine. And the photo is the data. Photo is the data. Tamam ya shabab? Clear? Both need to go inside the algorithm. Not only the photo and also the label. Tamam? And another question also. Let us assume you want to teach the baby about apple. And you want him to be able to recognize any apple in the future. What you will do? If you want him to recognize any apple in the future, what you will do? Hi, Shabab. Very easy.
All the variations and shapes with the name.
Exactly. You will show him all the types. As I said, you will show him different colors, different sizes. صح? So that if he will go, for example, to the market, vegetable market, whatever type of apple, he will be able to recognize it. صح? Because he has seen a lot of examples. But if you will show him only one example, for example, the red apple, will be easily able to identify the yellow apple? Maybe yes, maybe no. Now there is a question mark. We don't know. There is a percentage of failure. There is a probability of failure. Maybe yes, maybe no. We are unsure. That's why here also, if we want the algorithm to be able to predict in the future any photo of Jeffrey Hinton, that's why I need a lot of photos. The more you will feed, the more the algorithm will be intelligent on identifying that target or that objective, that object. Clear, Shabab? So that's why it's not only one photo. It's a lot of photos which we are going to feed for every object. Okay, it's different examples in general. We need to feed to the algorithm different examples. Now, the moment we feed different examples for the algorithm, what will be the output of the algorithm? What the algorithm will be able to do? The algorithm will be able to get the pattern, build the logic by himself. What is the meaning? Means instead of me feeding the logic, putting all the if statement, no, I'm going just to feed the data, and the algorithm by itself, he will be able to, figure out what is the logic to identify or to recognize those two objects or those two, persons. Did you understand me? So I don't need to go and mention all the differentiators. I just need to feed the data. The algorithm will do the needful, and he will be able to come out with a logic, a very good kind of logic, which will help him. Now, if I'm going, for example, to show him a new photo, okay, a new photo about, for example, Jeffrey Hinton, fine, and I will ask the algorithm, go ahead and predict. What he will do, he will check this photo. Is it having same pattern? Pattern means style. Pattern means نمط. هي الأشياء المشتركة. يعني لو لما أنا أعطي الألجوريثم أكثر من صورة لجيفري هنتون أو لأوبجكت A مثلا، تمام؟ وأعطي أكثر من صورة، تمام؟ لأوبجكت B. شو حيعمل الألجوريثم؟ الألجوريثم راح يجمع الصفات المشتركة بين كل صورة. بنسمي هاي الصفات المشتركة المتكررة بنسميها pattern. فإذا أنا أعطيته أكثر من داتا لنفس الأوبجكت، معناها الداتا هذه، إذا إحنا قلنا إنه كل الداتا هذه مثلا لصورة قطة، معناها في أشياء، في خصائص مشتركة في كل صورة، صح؟ في خصائص مشتركة بين كل الصور، عشان هيك إحنا سميناها كلها تنتمي لمجموعة القطط، صح ولا لا؟ فالالجوريثم he will go and he will try to discover the pattern between all of these photos, and he will build the logic, for example, for cat. And then he will go for the other set of photos. Let us assume it is dog. So he will build the logic for dog. Now, when I will feed the new data, he will compare. Is it similar to cat pattern or similar to dog pattern? If it is similar to cat pattern, he will tell you that this is cat. If it is similar to dog pattern, he will tell you it is dog. This is, of course, in a very short way. I'm trying to explain. Tamam? But if you have noticed, it's all going to work if you have data. Data is the main requirement. You have the right data, you can build something useful. You have zero data, forget about AI or machine learning. Clear this point? Tamam ya shabab? Now, after machine learning also, we have something we call it deep learning. And if I want to make a relation between machine learning, AI, and deep learning, the relation will be as the following. This is the biggest umbrella, which is AI. Under AI, we have machine learning. Machine learning, again, is a group of algorithms. Every algorithm will be used for a certain use case. Based on my use case, I need to choose the algorithm. You, as a machine learning engineer, انتم كمهندسين machine learning، مش مطلوب منكم انكم تعرفوا كيف تصمموا الالجوريثم. اذا انت بتعرف تصمم الجوريثم، روح خذ على طول دكتوراه، شهاده الدكتوراه، تمام؟ احنا مطلوب منا انه نعرف نستخدم كل الجوريثم بناء على اليوز كيس، تمام؟ اذا انا في عندي يوز كيس معينه، لازم اكون عارف اكثر من الجوريثم، واعرف اي الجوريثم لازم اختار بحيث انه يعطيني اكيورسي عالي. تمام؟ مين اللي بيعمل الالجوريثم؟ مره ثانيه اللي بيعمل الالجوريثم هم الناس اللي بيشتغلوا في الريسيرش، اللي بيشتغلوا في الجامعات، اللي هم بيعملوا في النهايه وايت بيبر وذي publish it for something new. تمام؟ I hope that it's easy. Under machine learning we have deep learning. Deep learning is a very advanced kind of algorithm. احنا بنتكلم هون على algorithm which is very advanced. Very advanced in terms of the structure, the way how they have created, which I'm going to explain it now. So فريق من الناس اللي كانوا عم بيعملوا بحوث في الذكاء الاصطناعي شو حكوا؟ في ناس حكوا او في مدرسه بتقول انه انا عشان to simulate the human behavior I need to use math and statistics, so I will build the algorithm using a pure math and statistics باستخدام الرياضيات وعلم الاحصاء. في مدرسه ثانيه مجموعه من الخبراء او مجموعه من الباحثين شو حكوا؟ حكوا لا، اذا انا بدي استخدم او اذا انا بدي اصمم تطبيقات ذكيه، انا لازم اعرف هاي التطبيقات انا عم بحاول انه to simulate the human intelligence behavior، صح؟ فاحنا we are intelligent because of our brain. So since the secret is available here, before I go ahead and create an artificial intelligence application, I need to know first how we are intelligent. يعني شو مصدر الذكاء اللي عندنا؟ فشو حكوا؟ حكوا مصدر الذكاء هو من الخلايا العصبيه اللي موجوده في الدماغ. فالشخص اللي عنده عدد خلايا عصبيه اقل هو انسان اقل ذكاء، والشخص اللي عنده خلايا عصبيه اكثر هو شخص يفترض اذا استخدم الريسورسز his own resources in a very good way، يفترض انه يكون اكثر ذكاء. وعشان هيك الاشخاص اللي في عندهم امراض فيروسيه وبتقضي على الخلايا العصبيه فهم بقل مستوى ذكائهم immediately، صح؟ ف there is a relation between الانتليجنس behavior اللي عندنا والنيورونز، الخلايا العصبيه الموجوده في الدماغ. فراحوا درسوا الخلايا العصبيه، فدرسوا هم اصلا علم الاحياء، درسوا الخلايا العصبيه، وبعدين بعد ما فهموا كيف الخلايا العصبيه هذه، احنا عندنا we can say billions of neurons، صح؟ وكلهم شغالين مع بعض، بيشكلوا مع بعض نتورك، شبكه من الخلايا العصبيه. طيب هلا بما انه هذا الاستراكشر عم بخلينا احنا اذكياء، طيب خلينا نحاول نستفيد من هذا الاستراكشر، نحاول نصمم استراكشر مشابه للي عندنا في الدماغ باستخدام الرياضيات، لكن ما راح تكون مرجعيتنا البيور ماث، مرجعيتنا حتكون الخلايا العصبيه. فراحوا درسوا الخلايا العصبيه وشافوا انه الخلايا العصبيه it's having a certain we can say component. The first component is the input. This is the input. This is what we call it dendrite. هاي الشعيرات الصغيره، ما بعرف اذا صح نسميها شعيرات، بس الانبوت تيرمينال خلينا نقول بنسميها dendrite. Each and every dendrite will be connected to another artificial neuron. Another neuron. Okay. It looks like this. This is This is going to be connected to another neuron. This is to another neuron. This is to another neuron, etc. etc. تمام؟ You know, all of these data or signals, okay, will go and it will be gathered here in the center of the neuron, and then after that it will travel through this tail او بيسموها الاكسون حتى تروح في النهايه عند الاوتبوت تيرمينال وتنتقل للخلايا العصبيه اللي بعدها. But they said that this is the structure of our brain. Let us try to simulate it using math. And this is what they have done. They have simulated it, sorry, and they have created an artificial neural network. They have created something, we call it artificial neural. شكرا يا يوسف. شجيرات. شكرا يا يوسف. artificial neural network. فمثل ما انتم شايفين، مثل ما احنا عندنا في الدماغ we have a network of neurons. They have created an artificial neurons. They call it artificial neural network. Tamam? Clear? So deep learning is a group of algorithms, but these algorithms inspired from our brain. Hope that it's clear. Fine. Now we have two approaches. We have machine learning and we have deep learning. Fine. So what is the difference? What is the other differences? Now let's see. Sorry. Machine learning is, as we said, it will use a pure, we can say, this is not machine, sorry, this is math. A pure math and statistics. Tamam? To use a pure math and statistics. What kind of data it can support? It can support only structured data. Yani, if my data is coming from a database, if my data is having a certain schema, if my data is having columns and rows, in this case, I can use machine learning. Very simple. صح? Now let us go to deep learning. In deep learning, as we said, it's inspired from our brain structure. What kind of data I can use with deep learning? I can use structured data, images, text, and also kind of waves or audio signal. Okay, structured data, same as a table, tabular data. Images means photos. Text, like for example, Google Translate. Okay. And waves, audios, for example, if you have a certain song and you want to generate a new, songs after that, new music, so you can also use deep learning for that. Tamam? So as you can see, deep learning support variety of data, which machine learning cannot support. Does this mean I need to focus only in deep learning and ignore machine learning? The answer is absolutely no, because machine learning technique is very much useful for this kind of data. So if you will go and you will check on the market, in the industry, many people, they use machine learning mainly when it comes to tabular data. سواء في قطاع الاتصالات، في قطاع الصحة، في قطاع التعليم، في أي من القطاعات الموجودة. لما نتكلم على داتا على شكل جدول، فورا تفكيرهم بروح للماشين ليرنينج. ما بنروح احنا للديب ليرنينج الا لو كانت الداتا ما بتساعدنا انه نستخدمها مع الماشين ليرنينج الجوريثم. طيب هل الديب ليرنينج it's more hard or more difficult? No, but it is a set of skills which you need to learn it. تمام؟ الابروش similar, but there is a certain differences when you are building the code. Clear? This is in a very simple way. I don't want to go into details because that we will explain it later in some other trainings. But here I'm trying just to give you some awareness. Any question here? Any question here? If there's no question, I can proceed. Can I proceed, guys? Can I proceed? You just need to say yes, or and if someone having question, please go ahead and ask. Okay. So let us continue. Now let us talk about the AI application. Now we have seen what is AI. AI is to simulate the human brain intelligence behavior. We have seen that we need to use machine learning or deep learning. وعرفنا الفرق بيناتهم، الفرق بشكل مبسط طبعا. Now how we can use this approach which require data. Again, deep learning, machine learning, the main requirement is data. طيب إذا أنا في عندي data, or how I can use it. Now I will give you examples. High examples will inspire you to come out or to start generate ideas. I will start with a general example and then we will talk about telecom example or applications. Okay, these are just an examples. So first example I can give you from what we usually or daily using is Siri. Siri is an artificial intelligence application. Why? Because it can understand your input as a text, and it can what? It can generate a response or pick a certain response based on your input, and it can display it for you. تمام? Now Siri is more than that, because Siri can also take your verbal input. صح? So it will take your voice, it will convert the voice into text, and then after that it will generate the output or pick the right response and then convert it into a speech. صح? So it's multiple things available with Siri. The same way also Sophia. Everybody knows Sophia, the first Saudi robot or Saudi residence robot, I should say. صح? So it's all about, it's something which is very similar from Siri. Another example of an artificial intelligence application is self-driving car. If you know people who are driving Tesla, this application is there. This application is there. Where in the self-driving car or the autonomous car, the car itself will have a camera and it can understand what is available in the road, and it will be able to identify the objects, car, a person who is passing, blah, blah, blah. And based on that, it can decide whether, how it should react. YouTube recommendations. So in YouTube, you watch 2-3 videos, immediately YouTube will be able to know your personality, what you like, and based on that, he will try to pop up, or he will try to give you some recommendations about videos which you might be interested on watching. So that is another application of AI which we use daily. Another application which we also use daily. Any question? I can hear some people. Is there any question? Okay, I'm just going. Marah, if you can just mute it.
دكتور عندي سؤال بس مو على السايت تماما. عندي سؤال على الاي اي، بانه لو احنا عملنا مشروع على الفيس ريكوجنيشن، النظام تسجيل طلاب بناء على الفيس ريكوجنيشن، هل هذا التطبيق انه ممكن يكون فعلا يعني مفيد وممكن يستخدم، ولا انه بيكون البديل انه لا موجود بصمة الايد مثلا؟
هلا as an idea it's a very good idea, but is it implemented? It's still too early. It's still too early. لانه بكل بساطة انا شو ممكن اعمل؟ انا ممكن I can pass a photo for example. صح؟
تمام.
So we need another thing to work along with this application. طيب هلا احنا عندنا في اتصالات مثلا، هلا احنا بنستخدمه just recently, just before a couple of months, we started it in some places in اتصالات. So for example, the place where I work, no, there is no face recognition yet. So it is still under the, we can say under evaluation. They are still evaluating it. So it's still too early, I should say. But you can start. You can try it. Why not? Try it. But
يعني أنا بديت بالفكرة، حاليا عمالهم بيحكوا إنه يعني الفكرة ما ممكن تكون مستخدمة، إنه في بديل ثاني اللي هو البصمة، إنه ممكن تكون يعني استخدامها محدود. فعلشان هيك بدي أعرف كاستخدام أو كتطبيق ممكن يكون فعلا مجدي.
هلا شوفوا، هلا بالنسبه للفيس ريكوجنيشن، نفترض الحين احنا في عندنا كورونا صح؟ الفيس ريكوجنيشن can be linked with so many other applications، بس البصمه it cannot. يعني مثلا لو انا بعمل فيس ريكوجنيشن، انا ممكن برضه اعرف مثلا التمبريتشر for example temperature reading، لانه في النهايه it will be captured by the camera صح؟ بس البصمه هاي الاشياء مثلا ما راح تقدر انه تو ريكوجنايز ات. مظبوط
هي فكره انه حتى يعني ممكن انا اقدر استخدمه خلال برضه المحاضره، انه تعطيني الايموشنال، اضيف عليها فيتشر الايموشنال ويصير يعطيني انه حاله الطلاب
بالضبط، هابي ولا مثلا انهابي والكلام هذا صح؟ الفيشل اكسبريشن.
مظبوط
صحيح. هاي الاشياء طبعا ما فيك تعمليها في البصمه اللي هي to get the happiness. Of course you cannot do it. اكيد
يعني ممكن انه يكون منيح، يعني مش انه ما ممكن يستخدم.
لا، هو ممكن يستخدم، لكن هل هو مستخدم؟ يعني هو as an idea it is there، بس is it implemented? It is still on the development phase. يعني you know everything in AI it is like that by the way. كل شيء في الذكاء الاصطناعي اول شيء عم بيجربوه، وبعدين بيشوفوا اذا هو ماتشور، بعدين بيستخدمه. فهي الاشياء كلها شغلات جديده. You can try it, of course, and see how you can implement it on your sector.
تمام شكرا.
Yeah. Another example is, for example, face auto tagging. With Facebook, right? So on Facebook, we have auto tagging. Before, for example, 10 years, if you are uploading a group photo, you cannot, or you need to tag each and every face manually. Right now, what is the situation? You upload the group photo, immediately it will ask you, do you want to tag the below, yes or no? So this is also something which require, of course, artificial intelligence to detect the face and to detect the we can say the account related to that face. Okay, and then we have Google Translate. Any question? Do we have any question?
No. شكرا دكتور يعطيك.
Yeah. Google Translate. Google Translate is also require artificial intelligence, because as we said before, we can give some sort of a speech, and then after that it will translate to another language, and then it will convert the text into a speech again, right? So this is also an example of some of the daily tasks or daily applications which we use. Now let us talk about AI in telecom. Let us talk about AI in telecom. Okay, so what I have done, I have summarized different applications or different, we can say, thing which we can use with AI, and here you can see that we have different departments. For example, if you are working in a telecom sector, of course we have people who are working in HR, people who work in admin, people who work in engineering department, sales, maybe call center. So I tried my best to give at least one idea for each and every department. And we will go through it one by one. Raghat, I think what you have proposed is already there. What you have proposed is already there. Right, let us start. So how I can use AI in telecom? The first thing we have is IoT device maintenance. IoT device maintenance. What is the meaning of IoT? IoT is a technology which is capable of monitoring or making action for a remote device. عندنا احنا device موجود في منطقة معينة وحابين انه نعمل monitoring للdevice وحابين we want also to apply a certain action remotely. As long as that device is going to be existing, somewhere in a remote area, there is always chance for people who want to try to penetrate our network through this device. Or maybe another thing also, that this device will be faulty and maybe I am not aware about it, or I will be aware about it only after it will go down. So what I want to create an AI application which can do some sort of predictive maintenance. Means I want to know that this device will be faulty before a couple of hours or before a couple of days. How I can do something like this? We can do something like that if we have, as I said before, the data. Data is very much important. Okay, so if I am having the data, if I have a sort of data and I have sensors which is connected in that device, based on the values which is coming from the sensor, what I can do is I can, or the AI program can decide whether there will be failure or not, whether the device will be failure or not, based on my historical data. So in front of me, for example, I have the historical data for a certain days, okay, or months or years. What I want is, I want to use this data, I will feed all of this data to a certain machine learning algorithm, and then the algorithm will learn when it's going to be one means it's faulty, okay, or require maintenance, and 0 means doesn't require maintenance, okay. So the algorithm will learn when it's going to be 1 and when it's going to be 0. Now someone will say, I can also learn it. Now you might be able to learn some of the parameters, but not everything. Why? Because just imagine you have 20 to 30 column, maybe more, and you have number of rows which is maybe 500,000 row. Now you tell me, will you be able to get the logic from this data? The answer is difficult. It will take a lot of time. You need more than one person maybe to study it, And guess what? After all of this effort, you might end up with only 50% or maybe 40% of the reality, of the truth. Truth means the pattern, the logic. You will not be able to discover everything 100%. If you are okay with it, go with it. But when we are talking about something related, or when we are talking about an application and we want to have high accuracy, this way will never work. We need something which can work with a very high accuracy. We want a reliable product or application. Clear? So IoT device maintenance, something we can implement using machine learning. Another example is fault detection. So in Etisalat, for example, we have something we call it Hassantuk. Hassantuk is a fire alarm system which usually we fix at the customer premises, and from our head office, we keep on monitoring the devices across all the regions. So what we want to know, if there is any fault. If there is any fault, we want to know what is that fault type, because every fault requires different action. Now I agree with you, or I think you agree with me, that some of the faults I will know what is that. For example, I might be able to know if the battery, if it is out of charge. I will be able to know if, for example, there is no electricity, etc., etc. Some of the faults I will be able to identify, but there is always 20 to 30% of faults which require what? Require physical or further investigation, maybe on site, maybe require some more investigation remotely also. Okay. So these 20 to 30% is something which we cannot decide immediately on the spot that this is this kind of fault and we need to resolve it in this way. So this is the 20 to 30% is what we can target, okay? Because we have the data, as I said, we have this data. It's a historical data, we have it. And we have done this investigation and we know what was the reason. So I can take all of this data, I can feed it to a machine learning algorithm. Machine learning algorithm will be able to understand the fault based on a certain parameter. So if next time you will have something like this, you don't need to do extra investigation. The machine learning can predict what kind of fault it is. Clear, ya shabab? Clear? Again, we are talking about a data which you cannot analyze, which you cannot understand. We are not talking about 1,000 row. Don't misunderstand me. We're talking about big data. We're talking about, for example, in IoT, it will be every day, maybe you will have millions of rows. Millions of rows means millions of data which is captured in a certain time frame. Okay? Hope that it's clear. Hope that it's clear. Let us go, let's take another example, which is mobile traffic forecast. Mobile traffic forecast. As a telecom company, we want always our network to be ready for the future, to be able to handle more traffic. Fine. How I can know what is the future traffic requirement? Can I predict it? Can I do this kind of forecast? Yes. If I have the traffic for the last, for example, 2018, 17, 19, 20, okay, 21, okay, 16. If I have all of this data, okay, I can feed it to a machine learning algorithm, and machine learning algorithm will be able to predict the future. Will be able to predict the future. I will just give you example. I will just give you example, ya shabab. I will just give you example. Let us assume we have this kind of data. Okay. Let us assume that this is my date. This is my traffic. Tamam? Whatever, traffic, sales, anything you want. So the data looks like this, okay? Let us assume this was 2021. This was 20. This was 19. This was 18. Now, my question to you, without using machine learning, can we, estimate how 2022 will be? Can we? Yes, Shabab. At least can we say that it will go up or down? At least this information. That the graph will go up or down. We can have this information. We can assume or you know, get this kind of information. Yes, right? Why? Because this data is having a certain pattern. There is a certain trend. The data is not actually, you know, doesn't have any sort of trend. No, there is a trend. This is what we call it, you know, we can say in retail, we call it seasonal data, a data which is having a seasonality. There is a certain pattern on this data. So if I have something like this and I want to predict the traffic for next year, can I do that? Yes, of course, you can do that. Machine learning can help you to what? To identify or to tell you, or you know, to give you a graph looks like this, for example. Okay, that is, for example, for 2021, 22. Clear, Shabab? Hope that it's clear. Face recognition, نفس اللي حكت عنه رغد، توقع رغد. It is something which you can use, However, it's still under trial or test phase. يعني even in UAE, we don't use it. For example, in police, Dubai police, Abu Dhabi police, we don't use it. Okay, we don't use it mainly in, you know, we can say 100% in Etisalat. We just recently started. This is all something new. Why? Because let us assume in Etisalat we have 10,000 employees. Fine. If I want to do something like this, do you think it's an easy thing to do it? It requires a lot of efforts, it will take a lot of time. صح يا شباب? So you can do it, but you need to know that we are at the initial stage. I didn't meet any person in UAE who say that we have implemented 100%, especially face recognition. You can implement it, but my advice, don't implement it for the whole company. That is my advice. Okay. Another thing also, Raghat, she has mentioned a very good example, which is facial recognition. Sorry, facial expression. Facial expression means what? Okay, this is a very good discussion also. Who can tell me what is the difference between face detection, face recognition, facial expression? Who can tell me what is the difference? Who can tell me what is the difference? يا شباب.
بس ديتكشن هو انه يتعرف على الوجوه بغض النظر، يعني ممكن ينحط بالاماكن العامه بس حتى مثلا يشوف الاشخاص كعدد مثلا تجمع او كذا يعني. اما الفيس ريكوجنيشن فهو حتى يتعرف على هويه الشخص، يعني ممكن تكون لمؤسسه معينه او لجهه معينه.
صحيح. والفيشل اكسبريشن اللي هو تعابير
للملامح، يعني حتى
التعبير اللي هو مبسوط، زعلان، نيوترال اللي هو عادي، لا انه زعلان ولا مبسوط. تمام؟ something like that.
تمام.
مظبوط؟ yes, this is something which I highly recommend. ليش؟ عشان if you will do it, do you need that much of data? Do you need a huge amount of data? For example, let us assume you are working in a telecom sector, and you know in telecom we are also having retail. صح? We have not kiosk, we have a small retail somewhere, صح? Selling the service. So I want to know, as a telecom company CEO, or you know, as an executive, I want to know people who are visiting us, how they feel inside our stores. So this is something which you can use, because if you will go through the internet, you will find a ready model for example, facial expression. You will have a ready model. You don't need to gather data to build it. Somebody else have done that part, and you simply can use it. But face recognition is more difficult, because you want to make sure that, okay, today I don't have beer, tomorrow maybe I will have. Did you train the machine for all the situations? If I'm wearing the glass, will the machine be able to recognize me or not? Believe me, this is something which is not easy. This is something which is not easy, especially when it comes to security, country security or police. You will never agree with something which is not accurate, never. Okay, so it's good to try, but I'm just telling you what we are facing. That's it, my experience. But you can try it, of course. Okay. Performance rating and appraisal. People who work in HR, for example, or let us assume you are a manager, okay, and you have already historical data for people who got the promotion. So let us assume that we have a certain person, employee, he work in this department, region, education, gender, blah 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 blah, and this is the how much he achieved from the KPI and whether he was promoted or not. Okay. Now what I want to use this data to predict for this year who deserve a promotion. Right? This is very important, by the way. Why? Because usually managers, they are what? Sometimes managers, they are not treating all employees in the same way. Right? So if I know this person, I can help him to get a promotion. If I know this person, if I hate this person, he will never get a promotion, even if he will score high, at the KPI achievement. So if I will take that task from the manager and give it to a machine learning, so there is no human, this part is not anymore for the manager, it's for the machine learning, and machine learning will decide based on the historical data. Now there is no chance for someone to play around, especially when it comes for a promotion. We want fair, we can say treatment for everyone. Yes, if we have a historical data, what I can do is, since I have the historical data, I can feed the new year data into the machine learning algorithm, and the algorithm will tell me which one he deserves and which one he don't deserve. Clear? Tamam? Customer churn. So let us assume that we, in a certain telecom company, we have people who unsubscribe, who exit the company, who leave the company. What I want is, if there is any chance I can identify those people who are going to leave, what I can do is, I can go to them, I can approach them, and then I can give them some offers, discount. I can attract them again. But the moment they exit, there is no way to go back. So is there any way, using machine learning, can I predict people who might leave, who will leave? Can I do that? The answer is yes. And this is what we call it customer churn. So in customer churn, this is how it works, Yashabab. In customer churn, we get the history, we feed the historical data to the algorithm, and then after that, what we do, we take the new customer, the existing customer, and what we will do, we will try to use machine learning to predict. If machine learning will say he's a happy customer, that means I don't need to approach him, khalas, he's happy. If the algorithm will say he is going to exit, there is a chance that he is going to exit, there is a high probability that he will exit, immediately I can approach him before he is going to take the official decision. Before he do that, I can approach him and I can retain him. This is what we call it customer retention. Clear? This is, of course, something which we can do if we have the historical data. If we have the historical data. This is an example. This is the gender, this is the customer ID, senior citizen, how long he been in that area. For example, the dependencies, how many, if you have some dependencies or not, the money he's paying, with what services he's getting, multiple line, phone service, internet service, blah, blah, blah. At the end, what happened to him? At the end, he is still available. Some people, they left. It's mentioned here by yes, etc., etc. So I have the historical data, and I'm sure all telecom companies will have some data like this. And we can utilize this data. We can immediately give it to a machine learning algorithm, the right algorithm, and I can feed the new customer data, and immediately I will get who is going to exit in the future. Same sales forecast. If you are working in sales and you want to predict the next quarter or the next year sales, this I have already explained it before. As long as your data is having a certain pattern, trend, you'll be able to predict. If your data is not having any pattern, sorry, you will not be able to do that. So it all depends on your data. Okay. Product recommendation. So let us assume that here, I'll talk about my company. In Etisalat, we have eLife. eLife means internet service, okay, of a certain speed. Let us assume that X customer, he was having internet service, which is, for example, 100 MB. 100 MB is a high speed, صح? I want to know, let us assume that I have 1 million customer, okay? And every customer is having different package of internet speed, tamam? So what I want to target people and I want to call them to promote a high speed, which we have launched maybe this year, which is 200 MB. So what I want, there is now two scenarios. Either I call those 1 million people who are already on this package and request them to upgrade. This is one approach, but as you can see, it will take a lot of time, headache. You will face a lot of people who will, who will maybe shout at you. Maybe if you are working as an agent. So what is the alternative? 1 million call. What is the alternative? The alternative is to feed all of this data again to a machine learning. Which data? I'm talking about historical data. So of course, you've been doing this approach for the last maybe 30 years. So for the last 30 years, how you are approaching the customer? You are approaching him blindly, of course. Why? Because you have a huge amount of data. You have a long list of customers, and you are calling one by one. And I believe, at least here in UAE, we are getting a lot of call for people who are selling a credit card. So I never used a credit card in my life. Why I need to get a call? You tell me. I never use it. Why I need to get a call? That's wrong. صح? It's a waste of time for that agent and money. صح يا شباب or no? Because I never used a credit card when I was having 25 or when I was younger than that also. I never use it. So why you are calling me now? There is no point. There is no logical reason yet. There should be a logical reason. So what we can do is we can use this historical data for the last 20 years, for example, because in that historical data, there is a column, which is what? The status. Did he agree or not? If he agree, of course, we will give him the new offer. If he did not agree, we will keep him having the old package, right? So what I can do, I can feed all of this data. And guess what? Now, if I'm going to ask the algorithm, hello, give me, sorry for this, give me the recommendation for this new row, for this new row, give me the recommendation for this X customer. Will he agree? I don't want to call him. I want to know your recommendation. Yeah, machine learning. I want to know your recommendation. Will he agree or not? If the machine learning will recommend me that this person will agree, only I will call him. Otherwise, I will not call. In this case, I am only going to call, let us be realistic. Out of 1 million, let us assume only 10,000 people will agree. So now imagine, from 1 million, I am getting 10,000. If machine learning can give you, not 10,000, let us be realistic. If machine learning will give you 20,000 names, fair enough, صح? Because before you were about to call 1 million, now you will not call 1 million, you will call 20,000, and from 20,000 you will get 10,000. Notice the percentage, 50%. While if you will calculate the percentage of 1 million, 10,000, that is 1%. I am taking you from 1% to 50%. It's a huge, achievement, صح? I hope you agree with me, ya shabab, صح? Okay, so let us proceed. Analyzing customer complaints data. Analyzing customer complaints. This is also very important. Why? If you are getting a lot of complaints, and by the way, this data in front of you is a real data, for a certain telecom company. And what happened is they are receiving a huge amount of complaints. Now, what the manager he said, I will never go to treat each and every row or complaint. What I want is I want a summary. So you tell me how many of this complaint is related to network, how many of this complaint is related to service, How many of this complaint is related to speed? How many of this complaint, blah, blah, blah. So he gave me, for example, 10 different categories. And he told me, go ahead and tell me for every category how many complaints. Now, to do something like this, you agree with me that this is a text. This is a text. Now I have two ways to do it. I can go through it one by one, which the manager will be very angry with me, okay? Because he will give me limited time. He will give me 1 day. And I have, let us assume, 5,000 row, 5,000 row. And I'm giving you 1 day as a time frame, or let us say 2 days. Will you be able to do it? One person? I don't think so. So what we can do, we can build a machine learning. In that machine learning, we will feed all of these complaints. And what we will do is, we are going to, the moment we feed it into a machine learning, we are going to tag it. We will have, we have historical data before. We have historical data. In the historical data, because again, this is a practice which we've been doing for the last 20 years. So we have historical data. In the historical data, there was a label. For example, let us assume that here we have internet speed. So in that historical data, there will be one column here related to the reason, which is the speed. So I have that. But what is the difficult part? The difficult part is to understand that this complaint is related to speed. That is the difficult part. For that, you need to use an algorithm which is related to machine learning, but it's coming under natural language processing. Natural language processing, ya shabab, is a very difficult and useful set of algorithms. But I cannot tell you that it is easy. It's sometimes easy, sometimes it is tricky, because we are talking about understanding the human language and converting it into a machine language. And you cannot estimate or predict what the customer will use, right? What is the accuracy for such scenario? Which scenario you are talking about? This one? Nobody can know. It depends on your data and your historical data. Yes, it depends on your historical data. Nobody knows. If I will tell you, for example, I tried it and it was 80%. Doesn't mean that when you will try, you will get 80%. There is nothing like that. And by the way, 80% might be very good, might sound very good for me. But even if you will get 85%, maybe you will not be happy with it. So there is nothing like if I am going to get 90%, it is good. No. By the way, accuracy is not only one parameter. And this is what we will explain if you will attend some other trainings. Accuracy is multiple metrics, I would say, multiple parameters. So when we decide whether the algorithm is good or bad, we don't decide based on the accuracy. Accuracy is only one parameter. Along with that, we have so many other parameters. Accuracy sometimes will mislead. Why? Sorry, but I will not be able to explain now because that is a long discussion. But again, in the future, maybe we can explain something like this. Okay, but usually people, they think that accuracy is the main metric which I can depend on. No, accuracy sometimes will mislead. So maybe you will get a very good algorithm. Imagine, very good algorithm, accuracy is 70. 70, good algorithm, yes. Maybe you will get 90%, very bad algorithm. How come? Maybe, yes. Because there is some other parameter, I don't know if you are aware about it, but go and read it. We have something, we call it precision. We have something, we call it F1 score. We have something, we call it recall. So we have many things. This is what we call it confusion metrics. Go and read about it. You will understand what I mean. Okay. So it's not a simple decision to say it's a good model or not. It's a good application or not. It's not an easy decision. There is a parameter. From that parameter, you can decide. Hope that I have answered your questions. And of course, chatbot. If you are working in, for example, in a call center, or even if you are communicating with customer in a place where you are getting some input from the customer, you can, of course, use always what we call it a virtual assistant, which I believe you have already started using it in some areas. In some companies, they have already started it. Now, this one, is it very much good? I mean, is it, you know, very much successful? Sorry to say, but sometimes it's yes, sometimes no also. Okay? I don't like to tell you something which is going to, you know, making you think that it will be something like Sophia. Sophia even, it's limited to a certain speech, to a certain subjects. It cannot answer everything. Tamam? So this is good if you will build it in a good way. Again, having a chatbot which can answer your query is good if you will know how to use it. Unfortunately, people nowadays, they use it in a wrong way. You know what they will do? I will tell you, without mentioning the name of the company. They will just say, we have used virtual assistant. Okay, you know what will happen? The virtual assistant will answer your call when you will call, and it will only ask you one question. But you know what is virtual assistant? Virtual assistant means what? You communicate verbally as if you are communicating with a human. This is the meaning. So if you are saying that you have virtual assistant, that means I don't need to press, because the moment you ask me to press, this is not a virtual assistant. This is what we call it in telecom. What we call this? Who can tell me? What we call the normal, what we call it? The normal telephone or call center system. What we call it? Who can tell me? Who's from telecom? We call it IVR, interactive voice response. Interactive voice response is when it will ask you, please choose your language. Press 1 to choose Arabic. Press 1 to choose English. If you want to talk with sales, press 1. If you want to talk with marketing, press 2. Tamam? Tamam ya shabab? So that is not AI, because you are pressing. When you are saying it's AI, means you should be able to talk. Only you should be able to talk as if you are talking with a real human. Now, unfortunately, some companies, just to claim that they are using virtual assistant, what they do, they will just ask the customer one question, and the customer will be able to answer only that question. After that, what it will do, it will be an IVR. See? So the first step, it will ask you a question, and you will say yes or no, for example, without pressing good. But then after that, what will happen? Everything by pressing on the phone number. That is the problem. This is because people, they don't understand what is virtual assistant. Virtual assistant means I should talk, whether it is I text or by a speech, as if I am talking with a human. Don't ask me to press. That means it's not a virtual assistant. That is the problem. That is the problem, Yashika. That is just to claim that we have virtual assistant, but in reality, it's not a virtual assistant. So can you create something like this? Yes, but you need to know how to create it, because it sounds easy, but it is not easy. You need to know how to do it, and you need to know when to use it. You cannot use it to answer any question, but if you will know how to use it, yes, it can be very much useful. And if you will attend the training on the future, which Phi Science Institute, they are planning to launch, we are going to talk about this and how to create it. Clear, Shabab? So let us talk about machine learning development process very fast. What is the time now? Okay, so we need to go fast. So machine learning development workflow is as the following. So if you want to create a machine learning application, this is the procedure. So it's all starting with data. So if you have a right data, you need to clean it first. So what is the next step after you collect your data? You need to clean it. Clean it means data pre-processing. You need to make it ready. Okay, you need to make it ready. Ready means what? You need to maybe remove some columns. Maybe you have some missing value you need to fill. Maybe you have repeated rows you need to remove. Okay, maybe you have some values, which is, because here's something very important. Let me tell you this for your information. Question: if you have which data? If you have this data in front of us, question for you: will you be able to feed this data to a machine learning? You have this table in front of you. Can you feed this data to a machine learning algorithm? Can you or not? Can you feed it? Yes or no? That's it. What is the problem with this data in front of you? Guys, are you with me or not? Guys, are you with me or not? Shabab? Who can tell me what is the problem with this data? What is the problem with this data? The problem with this data is the following. Machine learning algorithm is what, ya shabab? Is a set of equations, صح? So the question is, how I can feed yes and no? It will never understand it, صح ya shabab? I think no, because there are different types of data. Yes, it's exactly as in. So we have string. String means text. How we can feed this to equation? How this will be in the equation? So what we need to do? We need to do label encoding. Okay, means we need to convert all of this text as a number so that we can feed it into the equation. Very simple. And so many other things like normalization, for example. Okay, so there is a certain set of steps which we need to do here in data pre-processing, and then we need to do data visualization and feature extraction. Feature extraction in a very short way is as the following. I have this data, for example, which column is not important. For example, customer ID. Customer ID is not important, right? To teach the algorithm when to say yes or no, customer ID is not going to be one of the parameters to decide. صح? So I can remove it. That is feature selection. Every column we call it feature. Feature selection means selecting the column. Easy. The problem, you know, here in artificial intelligence, there are many terms which are used, and because there are many terms used for the same thing, people, they are getting confused. But if you will understand what is the true meaning of the term, everything will be easy. Feature extraction sound difficult. It is just choosing the column, the right column. Easy. And then after that, after I clean my data, after I make sure that the columns in front of me are the column which I need to feed it into a machine learning algorithm, the right algorithm. So I need here to choose the right algorithm, and there is a procedure for that. And then I will go with model deployment. Model deployment is another story also, to be honest. You as a machine learning engineer, what is your part from all of this flow? From all of this flow, your part should be this one. In reality, I'm talking about the real work for machine learning engineer. This is your work, and this is for what we call him data engineer. Okay, this is data engineer. This is machine learning engineer. Now this is how it should be, and this one is for what? This is for a front end engineer. Now this is how it should be, but you know the reality is not like that. The reality is, if you are working, if I am the manager and I have an employee, please don't tell me that I need to recruit another person. I have a team. All of you are going to do all of this. Even though they are only machine learning engineers, sorry, you will do everything from A to Z. I'm talking about reality, because I know the reality. You as a machine learning, if you will become the machine learning engineer, the expectation is so high, believe me, and they don't know what is your limit. They think if you are a machine learning engineer, you should know also software programming, while software programming is not related to a machine learning programming. Machine learning programming is all about math, statistics. Your mind, your mind is going to deal with data, not with if statement and loops. Did you understand? But people, they don't understand this. You are a machine learning engineer, you know programming, you are a programmer, you need to do everything. That is the problem. So reality is very hard, and you need to build yourself to meet the expectation of the reality. Okay? Demonstration, very fast demonstration about machine learning, just for people who want to see some demonstration, which I believe also is going to be very good, and they'll try to make it quick. So what we want to do the same what we have done here. We want to do the same like this. I'm going to feed multiple photo for Jeffrey Hinton, multiple photo for John McCarthy into a certain algorithm, and we are going to test it. Please be with me because this is very much important and good for you to share it with others. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to provide multiple photos for Jeffrey Hinton. صح? I will provide how many photos? 8. تمام? And you know, I need to have a label. صح? I will call it Hinton. And the second one is going to be for John McCarthy. By the way, again, these are 2 big names. Huh? What happened? These are very big names. Go and read about them. By the way, this man, he's still alive and he's working in Google and in Toronto Hospital, Toronto University in Canada. Go and read about it. He's still alive, and if you will go to YouTube, he's having a lot of training sessions, which you can learn from him on YouTube. Anyway, so that is John McCarthy. He passed away in 2011, unfortunately. Let's start. So I have the photo, I have the name. I'm going to feed all of this into a machine learning or deep learning here, because this is a photo, صح? And we have already seen if it is a photo, that means it is deep learning, صح? Fine. Here, let me now pass a new photo and let us see if after the model have learned. So what is written here? Model trained. So now let us see if it will be able to do the job. I'm going to feed a new photo, which I didn't feed it before, which is this one, for example. I didn't feed it before. Let us see if you will be able to predict it. So see, John McCarthy. What is the probability? Probability, not accuracy. Not accuracy, probability, 100%. Let us now go for Jeffrey Hinton. Let us take an example for Jeffrey Hinton. I will take this one. Can you see this one? It's a little bit far away, صح? Let's see. Very good. I didn't pass this. And it's still a side view. And the picture having a lot of other detail. Still, it's able to predict with what accuracy? 100%. Not accuracy, sorry. Probability. 100%. I can share the link with you for people who want also to try. Please go ahead to try because it's very much interesting. I think no, because there are, yeah, this is something else. I have shared it with you. You can go ahead and try it later. Let us continue now. Where we were here. So yes, that was about the demonstration. And one thing I want to show you also about the next, what we have, just a minute, what we have next. We have the skills required. Yes, the skills required. And since we are talking about the skills, let me write here something. The best technical skills to learn. I'm asking Google. I'm asking Google. What is the best technical skills to learn? See what's written here, Shabab. Artificial intelligence is #1. So again, what I have explained is just, you know, something which is like an overview about this technology, and it's very much, you know, we can say recommended for everyone to learn it. It is #1 skills if you want to be prepared for the future demand. This is just for your information. Now, the skills required to become an AI or machine learning engineer, inshallah, in the future, you need to know at least one programming language. And the best programming language to know, and you can also write this in Google, the best programming language will be Python. Python is the best programming language. In Python, there are certain libraries which you need to know. Again, people who don't know about libraries, don't worry. These are, we can say, ready-made code, which you can use it instead of you writing it from the scratch. You can use a ready-made code and you can customize it. This is the meaning of a library. Like this, we have a lot of libraries available. So the libraries which you need to learn is Pandas, NumPy, SciPy, Matplotlib, Scikit-learn. Aside from this, also Seaborn, right? Aside from this, also TensorFlow and also Keras. Keras, very important. These are the libraries of Python which you need to learn. And in general, whether you want to be a machine learning engineer or not, my recommendation, go and learn Python. Python is the best programming language because because it's a multi-purpose programming language, multi-purpose. You are not going to learn it only for machine learning. We can use it for automation, machine learning, dealing with big data, blockchain, and so many other things. Creating a desktop application, working for the web application from the front end, maybe creating games. Yeah, almost everything you can do like Java. Clear? Now, that is about programming. So you need to have a programming skills. The next is what? Math and statistics. Yes. The person who will be good in math, he is good in AI. In mathematics and statistics, what I mean about, what do I mean? I mean about what we have learned in high school or university. That's it. I'm not talking about rocket science. So I'm talking about algebra foundation. I'm talking about calculus, first order derivative, integration, partial derivative, linear algebra, how to deal with matrices, masfufat, probabilities, how to calculate the probability, descriptive and inferential statistics. These are something related to standard deviation. I'm sure that you study it. Covariance, linear correlation, coefficient, correlation coefficient. Yeah. So again, we are not talking about something new. The same thing what we have learned before, but we will use our knowledge with AI. This is what is required. That's it. And the last skills, if you want to learn all of this and you want to implement it, for example, for a certain field, you need to have the domain knowledge. Domain knowledge means if you are going to build it for telecom, you need to have telecom background. If you are going to build it for oil and gas, you need to have oil and gas background. If you are going to build it for health industry, you need to have health industry background. Now, if you don't have it, and in reality, you will never have it. Why? Because you tell me how I can find a programmer. At the same time, he is very strong in math. He knows the math background for AI. At the same time, he know about the domain of, for example, oil and gas. You tell me where I can find all of this. Where I can find, and by the way, I know some companies, they tried to find a programmer with a very good math AI, which is related to artificial intelligence, with a domain a background about oil and gas, for example, like ADNOC. Let me tell you the company name, ADNOC. Okay, they were not able to find. ADNOC is, of course, a very big company in UAE, which is an oil and gas company. So they were not able to find. It is very difficult to find this combination. You will find maybe person who know about AI. You will find person, but the one who will know about AI, maybe he's not a programmer, and you cannot ask him to create a web application. He's not a programmer. He's just using programming for AI. So you cannot say he's a software engineer, right? You cannot say that he know about oil and gas. So that is very difficult combination, which companies are not able to get. But when they are doing the advertisement, okay, or job, query, they will ask you to know about all of this. But after that, what they will do, which one is stronger here? Yani if I will know person who have oil and gas background, and person who know about math, and person who know about programming, which one I will pick? The first one, of course, I will pick is the person who know math and Python. If that person is not here, I will go with the programming. And this is what is happening. Because even people who know about artificial intelligence, they are very limited. Okay, so usually they will go with the programmer. That is the reality. I'm just telling you, be like what is the scenario now, but in the future, as people they are learning the technology, the future will be different. We will have people who is maybe programmer, and also at the same time they are a machine learning engineers. Okay. Tamam ya shabab? Clear? Any questions? Any question, guys?
يس ثانك يو مهندس. عندي سؤال بخصوص السكيلز المطلوبه. هلا انا حاليا بشتغل على السايكت لين بانداز والبايثون داتا ساينس تولز بالاضافه للديب ليرنينج تولز مثل الباي تورش. بس بشوف انه الشركات لما بدها تطلب ل AI انجينير او داتا ساينتست او ماشين ليرنينج انجينير، عادة ما بيطلبوا هاي السكيلز اللي هي الأساسية بس للاي اي، عادة بيطلبوا فيه زي preferred qualifications بتكون بالإضافة إلها. فممكن تحكي لنا أكثر شوي شو عادة بتكون هاي preferred qualifications بالإضافة للداتا ساينس تولز المشهورة؟
مثل ما حكيت الاكسبكتيشن is very high and you as a machine learning engineer you need to be knowledgeable about algorithms. يعني when I'm saying I'm a machine learning engineer, I am full of knowledge about algorithms, and that's enough. But what is happening, they are requesting more. Like what? I will tell you. More like just a minute. More like certification maybe from Amazon as a data scientist, Azure machine learning certified. Okay, maybe this is what they are asking. Aside from that, maybe they will ask you about beautiful soup, beautiful soup for web scraping library. Yeah, so this is actually what they might ask you also to know about Java. See, I told you the market is very much demanding. Okay, Java, maybe you need to know. Maybe you need to know about SCADA. Yeah, which I believe it's a total wrong thing. If you want a person who know about machine learning algorithms, he will never be able to, to go through, for example, it is not a must that you know about web scraping. Yani, let me tell you, I am I'm a master student in artificial intelligence. Nothing of this is, is there. It's only about algorithms. Because algorithm is a big field. You can go and you can learn from the internet. I'm not telling you no, but you will only learn very small amount of what you can learn if you read about it. So there is a huge amount of knowledge which you can learn for each and every algorithm. It's not about one statement. Like I know if I want to apply, for example, linear regression algorithm or logistic regression decision tree ANN, it's just one line. But is it only one line? Is it that much easy? And I can bring any guy and any person, yalla, it is just one line. Is it that much simple? No. But people, they don't know about it. Even when they are posting, what they will do, they will say, we want data scientists. Okay, what is the difference between data scientist and machine learning engineer or artificial engineer? Three terms. What is the difference? Even the one who posted, he don't know the difference. So again, it's because each and every term meaning is changing over time. So maybe before it was something, now it is that thing is not valid anymore. So that is the problem. So this is some of the qualifications maybe they will ask you about. Although I don't think this is something which is a must. If you know Python, what do you need more? If you know Python and you have done some projects and you have some certification, enough. I think it's enough. If you have some practical experience and you have certification and you know Python and you have done some project, what you need more? Yeah. I hope that I answered your question. Yeah, Zaid, I think.
Yes,
Fine.
thank you.
Most welcome. Fine. Now let us talk about the upcoming course, which is going to be after maybe a couple of weeks. That course will be a practical course about artificial intelligence, which doesn't require any prerequisite, ya shabab. There is no any prerequisite for that course. It's a course which is created to allow everyone to start learning about artificial intelligence, because if you will try to go and learn about AI, and they know what I'm saying, okay? if you try to learn about AI, you will never know how to start. You will never know how to start. It's a very big field. There are many algorithms. How to start learning, that is what is going to take time from you. The moment you know from where to start, you can go through. But to reach to that point, you need a lot of guidance. So here we are going to put you on the track. Okay, we are going to show you how you need to start with AI. The course will be for 6 days. We are going to cover multiple tools, not only Python. We will talk about Python. We will talk about Azure Machine Learning Studio. We will talk about Power BI. We will talk about many tools. Okay, so we are not going to go as a normal class Python and then after that how to do visualization, machine learning. No, we will go and we will try to give you awareness about multiple tools which you can learn in the future in detail by attending trainings or maybe by yourself to improve from yourself. So what you will get, you are going to know how to do coding by Python. At least you will know how to read and how to customize the code. You will know how to create visual report using for business for doing some business decisions using Power BI. You are going to also do some data analysis using libraries like Pandas and Matplotlib and Seaborn. You will know how to create a chatbot. You will know how to create a chatbot, of course, by Python. You will know how to create a machine learning by using Azure Machine Learning Studio and also Python. And you will know how to use ANN algorithm also by using Keras for Python library. Okay, these are the things which we are going to cover. This is the plan. We will start with introduction to AI. We will go through different terms about the algorithm, what is supervised, unsupervised, what is the how I can implement it using Azure. So here I'm going to also show you how you can implement machine learning application using Azure. Azure is very much important, by the way. Also, we are going to see how to create a dashboard. I think we have a question here. How can we register in the course? So I think Marah will answer this question. Let me just do the explanation, and then Marah will take this call. Yes, Marah? Creating a dashboard using Power BI. So Power BI is very much important. Power BI will allow you to create this. Let me show you. Power BI will allow you to create this, ya shabab. Where is it? Sorry. Come on. Power BI will allow you to create something like this, ya shabab. What is this? This is a dashboard. Okay. Of course, data which is inside is not related to my company, so that's why I have no problem to show it to you. So this is actually a dashboard which you can share it with people, and let me do it now also. So let me just share with you this one. Just a minute. Here. No. Yeah, let me give you this one. Oh no, I think they have changed it. Just a minute. Yeah, I think this is the one. So if I'm going to copy this one, ya shabab, I think you should be able also to view it. Yes, try to view this, ya shabab. Try to click on it. You should be able to see the dashboard which I have created. So Power BI will help you to create this kind of visual report. And the good thing of it is that it will allow you to share it with anyone you want by only what? By only a link, by only a URL. So you click on that URL, immediately you will be able to see the dashboard. So that is the beauty of Power BI. Of course, there are many other things, but this is what I wanted to show you now. Microsoft Azure Machine Learning Studio is also another tool which we will go through, okay, which is going to allow you to create machine learning by only drag and drop, okay, by only drag and drop. These are all modules which you can drag from this section, and after that you will be able to do what? You will be able to link it with your own application. Your own application, something like this. Let me show you. Let us assume that I'm having this application. Let me show you this. Okay, So let us assume I'm going to pass my employee number, tamam? And I have created this one for anyone who's going to attend any training and he wants to know what is the best next training to attend. From here, he will just put his employee number if he's in the company, and it will show him, see what is happening. There is a request now. It went where? It went to Azure Machine Learning Studio. This one means it went to the cloud, my account. It has gone through all of this, and then it gives some prediction. And then after that, I got the prediction here. This is the code. Every code is for a training title. Tamam, did you understand, ya shabab? Again, see here. So this is my input. My input went to Azure Machine Learning Studio. And then after that, I got the result. Clear? So now, if I will give you this one to use it, will you be able to know that the back end is Azure Machine Learning Studio? No, of course. You will never know about it. If I will give you only this as a .exe, you will never be able to know what is the source from where you are getting the recommendation. This is like a product recommendation. You are an employee. You have attended many courses. You want to know what is the next course to attend. The best next course, the best as per your previous courses which you have attended. So this is what I have created using Azure Machine Learning Studio, where you just need to feed your employee number. It will check what was the training which you have attended, what is the other people feedback about the training which they have attended later, and then it will try to pick the training where people they rated, very high. Clear? So this is something also which you can do. So after you create Azure Machine Learning Studio model, you can link it with your application using Python API, using API, and you can actually use it in Python, with Python. Clear? We will also learn how to create a code like this, which will have some visualization, which will allow you to create a sort of artificial neural network, model. We will also go through many other, applications related to machine learning, right? So these are the things which we will go through. So that is creating dashboard, Python essential, data analysis, means visualization and transformation, machine learning, deep learning also, right? We will see how we can create deep learning and machine learning models. These are the tools which we are going to use, like Jupyter Notebook. We will go with Colab, also Google Colab. We will go with Power BI. We will cover many libraries. We will see Chatterpot library for chatbot. We will also go with Azure Machine Learning Studio, scikit-learn, and Keras. Okay. And after you attend that course, you are expected to, submit or create a final project, which is going to be either about creating a dashboard using Power BI, machine learning, deep learning, or maybe a chatbot. Clear, Shabab? This is from my side. Now, if you have any question, I will be ready to answer. Do you have any question, guys?
يعطيك ألف عافية مهندس محمد على الشرح الأكثر من رائع والبرزنتيشن التفاعلي والممتع صراحة. يعني حتى الناس اللي ما عندهم باك جراوند بالتليكوم استفادوا أكيد. هلأ لكل شخص عم بيسأل عن التسجيل بالكورس، الكورس إحنا أعلنا عنه إن شاء الله رح يكون خلال الأسابيع القادمة. رح أبعث لكم هلأ رابط التسجيل بالكورس على الشات، ومن خلاله بتقدروا تفوتوا على اللينك، وفي هناك فورم تعبوا الفورم وخلص بتصيروا ريجسترد. هلا بالنسبة للمحاضرة هيك بنكون أنهينا إن شاء الله. في حال أي حدا ما عنده سؤال، وفي أي حال إذا في حدا عنده سؤال يعني you can go ahead يعني open your mic ووجهوا سؤالكم للمهندس محمد. otherwise هيك إحنا بنكون خلصنا، وبتمنى ان الكل استفاد، وشكرا للبارتيسيبنتس اكيد لوجودكم معنا وتفاعلكم معنا، ويعطيكم الف عافيه. اذا في حدا عنده اي سؤال يتفضل قبل ما ننهي تماما.
طيب كان في سؤال من زين. I have a general question. If our dataset doesn't have a pattern for a long period of time, we cannot, or it will be hard applying machine learning. Yes, it's hard, but there are some algorithms which can, help you to create a solution without having a pattern. We have always two kinds of algorithm. We have a linear algorithm and we have a non-linear algorithm. Linear algorithm requires some correlation between data. Non-linear algorithm doesn't require this correlation, and it doesn't require linearity. So again, there is a chance, but it is not guaranteed. No one can tell you use this algorithm like a medicine. Even medicine, sometimes it's not sure. I can give you, a painkiller. I can give you antibiotic, and then you know what? That antibiotic cannot work with you. So it is like that. You need to try. شكرا، يعطيكم الف عافيه على حضوركم، واتمنى انكم تكونوا استمتعتوا في السيشن الصغير البسيط اللي انا من خلاله حبيت اني اعطيكم بعض من الاشياء اللي انا تعلمتها في السنوات الماضيه اشاركها معاكم، وراح نلتقي ان شاء الله في الكورسات الجايه في المستقبل. شكرا كثير لكم ويعطيكم الف عافيه.
شكرا مرة ثانية مهندس محمد، وشكرا لحضورنا، وبتمنى لكم إن شاء الله ليلة سعيدة. يعطيكم ألف عافية جميعا.